Hello, this is Mr. Kays, and we are talking about 33.1. 33.1. We're looking at the Cold War. The Cold War. Superpowers are going to face off. Well, these superpowers are the United States and the Soviet Union. Before the war ends, we have a meeting of the Big Three at Yalta. Now, where is Yalta? It's in the Black Sea. It's a Soviet Union resort town. In 1945, the war is still raging, but FDR, Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin meet there, and they agree to divide Germany. FDR, Churchill, and Stalin agree to divide Germany. Now, a lot of things are into occupation zones, divide Germany into occupation zones. Now, a lot of things are at loggerheads here. Churchill and FDR don't trust Stalin because Stalin is really not trustworthy. He made a friendship pact with the Nazis at the beginning of the war. Can he be trusted now? Another thing is Stalin was really angry at the Allies for not invading France sooner than 1944. But Stalin pledges free elections in Eastern Europe. He pledges free elections in Eastern Europe. And of course, Stalin may not keep his word. Churchill knew that. He could figure out that Stalin was not going to give up land once he had it. They did agree, for the good of humanity, to begin this organization called the United Nations. It started in 1945, and it's an international organization to protect members against aggression. To protect members against aggression. What was happening in Eastern Europe is an Iron Curtain was falling. Winston Churchill gave a commencement speech at Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri, in which he said that an Iron Curtain is falling over Eastern Europe. What is that Iron Curtain? Well, it's the division of Europe into democratic and communist influences. The division of Europe into democratic and communist influences. And the West being democratic and the East, closer to the Soviet Union, being communist. The United States foreign policy at this time, after the war, was one of containment. Like you're trying to contain a spill, the United States policy of blocking Soviet influence, and halting expansion of communism. Halting expansion of communism. That's the policy of containment. We don't want the communist world gaining any more land in the free world. Case in point. Harry Truman is the president at this time, and the Truman Doctrine involved sending $400 million in aid to Turkey and Greece to oppose communism. The Eastern European states, they all fell into line as friends of the Soviet Union, but Turkey and Greece, that were experiencing communist revolutions, resisted, and here is where U.S. money was spent militarily to help Greece and Turkey kick out the communists, which they did. The big plan, though, was the Marshall Plan. Harry Truman sent George Marshall, Secretary of State, over to Europe to look at the damage of World War II. And he comes back and he says to Harry, "Oh, Harry, Europe, Eastern and Western Europe, were lies and ruins. They are in danger of going communist. We need to do something." So Congress authorized $12.2 billion, not million, but billion dollars, sent to rebuild Western Europe and resist communism. That's what the Marshall Plan was. Sent to rebuild Western Europe and resist communism. Now, we are told that Eastern Europe was offered the money too, but they were not allowed to take it. Why? Because the Soviets told them they could not take it. So, Western Europe got all the money, $12.2 billion to rebuild. Now, this is a Cold War map, and I've noticed here that In red is the Western Bloc. It should be Eastern Bloc. And then in blue, the Eastern Bloc should be Western Bloc. When Churchill gave this speech, he said, and here's a kind of a paraphrase, from Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic Sea, an iron curtain is falling over these ancient Eastern European capitals. The division right here, this iron curtain, should really include Yugoslavia because that was communist too, and Albania also. But the early Iron Curtain went over this area right here. The division between free Europe and communist Europe. So these are boundaries of the free and communist world, and it was a contentious boundary where you'd have troops on either side wondering, is there going to be war or not? Well, we're going to continue on with 33.1b down the road. This is Mr. K's. I'm out.